So it's a guy of interest, and his name is, we're gonna call him Sully, Sully. So his name is Sully, right? Now Sully is not your average type of guy. He's real like laid back, suave, um, real good mental, whatever. So Sully is like the type of person where he's very headstrong. So if you sit around there, you tell Sully about something, and especially if it's something serious, you got a problem, this and this and this, he will sit around there and try his best to figure out what's going on, um, and make sure it doesn't happen again, right? So I told Sully that I was having a problem with this girl in the freaking club, right? So, now it's nothing major like, oh, disrespecting or something like that. But it's more so on the lines of the fact that I feel like she don't see me when I'm out on the stage, right? So, I told Sully that. Sully's sitting around there and he like, well, why don't you just sit around there and approach her on the situation and then tell her how you feel? But I'm sitting around and telling Sully, I can't sit around there and do that because in the strip club, it may feel like a form of disrespect, you know? So you're not in the strip club, but you are a man, so maybe you can relate to what I'm talking about. So that's why I'm coming to you with the problem, right? So he says, right. Now he's not on the form of like, okay, right and wrong and this, that, and the third. You just tell him what it is and then he'll figure it out from there. So, and that's why I like to, talk to Sully on, kind of like a regular basis to keep him update on my life and things like that. Because I feel like we could talk and we could be real freaking compatible. But it seemed like to me that she don't like get what I'm saying, right? About the whole freaking situation. Like in the club and out on the streets and stuff like that, everybody got their own little turf, what they call it, right? And you don't go out on nobody else's turf unless you got word on such things, right? Somebody got to sit around there and give you the okay to go on that person's turf, right? Because it's money involved, it's drugs involved, all of this other stuff. But in the strip club, it's just a little bit different. You got what they call head person in charge, right? We're just gonna put it like that. It could be a lady, it could be a dude. It all depends. So, but I go to him to not involve him, and then on the back end, I gotta make sure that he not getting involved in the strip club because it's not his business, right? So now, do me and this girl got beef? I don't freaking think so. I don't want no beef with her. She get money. She got, her own place, her own car. But I think she got her eye on the dude of interest. Now, I didn't showed her a couple of pictures of the dude and every freaking thing. But she ain't saying too much or nothing. She ain't got no friends on up in the club. So I'm like, okay, it's cool. I could sit around there, show her a few little pics and everything like that, and see how, she feeling or whatever the case may be. Because I don't got no freaking homegirls, you know, in New York City anyway. So I decided to, be a little open minded and open up to her. Now, we've been working in the strip club for a couple of months now, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. But on the other hand, I still want to keep some things, to myself and things like that. Now, y'all know I don't do no story time, so it may be a little bit, um, kind of like off some because I'm letting y'all in. I'm focusing on being transparent. So back to the silly dude. So And, he got about four sisters and things like that. So I figured, he going to go ask them and this, that, and the third, their opinions and things like that. Now, did I meet his mother freaking family? Hell to the mother freaking no. But I got ins on how many sisters he was, he got and everything like that. And whatever, whatever. So I could be, on the safe side, because sometimes, not if you, especially if you, around your sisters and stuff like that, they may not want to, like reveal themselves and stuff, and they may not want to um, like let everybody in on who their brother is, and they real protective kind of thing. So, but I got word in because I went through silly phone one day. Excuse me, went through his phone, and I'm like, okay, let me see. I don't never see him on the phone with nobody. I don't never see him really around nobody. So I'm like, well, let me see. You know what it is. So that's what I decided to do, to check his phone. But back to the stripper club situation. So, and we gonna call her Miranda, right? So that's how I feel about Miranda. But Miranda, she like real cool and everything like that. Now I don't know her family side, how many people she got over there, and actually I don't even know where she's from, because the strip club where we strip at, it's kind of like a hole in the wall type of situation kind of thing, but they still get money. Like they still like, you can like come up on a good day about a good 3 to 4 racks if you know what you're doing. If you consistent, you go there, they see your face and stuff like that. And you ain't gotta really be that promiscuous and stuff like that, going into the back room and bloopity bloop. But that's just what that is. But the next time I go up into the strip club, I will ask her, like, do we have any issues? Because I don't want to seem like the person where you know like always confronting somebody, or I don't want to seem like it's, problems and things like that in the club, right? Because I feel like me and Miranda, we still gotta work there, right? Even though she real, like, it don't be giving like stuck up vibes or nothing like that, but it's just more so like maybe she's like real stern, right? And maybe I'm just being a little sensitive or whatever. But but Miranda, she seems still cool. Now, there was another girl named Stacy up in the club as well. But, Miranda and Stacy, you know, they don't never talk or whatever. Now, like I said, I've been at this club for a couple of months now. So I've gotten to know ins and outs of what they do, what they don't do, and and I know a couple of names, right? So Stacy and Miranda, they don't freaking talk. So, and I also wanted to ask Sully, kind of like, was he single or whatever, so maybe I could put him on to Stacy, because they both look like they could be matched and everything like that. Um, and that would be that. But I don't know if he really into like females, right? Because nowadays you just don't freaking know, or whatever the case is. But you know it be giving like real, like, not suspect vibes, but you just never know. And I'm real precaution and everything like that. But like I said, I like him, and I done showed him. Now, like I said, I like him. Now, I done showed her, the girl Miranda, some pictures of Sully and everything like that. But back to the moral of the story. Now, me and this girl, Miranda, we don't got no beef or whatever. But I just feel like, when we out on that stage and everything like that, the attention and everything, it gotta be on her. And, it be feeling like she don't want to share the stage with nobody and everything like that, And, it ain't really nothing I could do, because, it's all about time, And, and at certain clubs, it kind of be like first come, first serve in a way. But, you know, I try to get there in a decent amount of time, so I could get my stage time, my appropriate stage time at that. And make it do what it do and make something shake, right? So I could at least come home with at least a couple $100, to end off the week good, start off the week even better, things like that. But Sully really ain't giving me too much advice and things like that. So I'm like, okay, has he been down to this club before? Do he know Miranda and Stacy and things like that? But he not giving me no ends on what he know and this, that, and the third. In all due respect, I understand because he's a guy, I'm a girl, whatever, whatever, right? But I still like him. But I may not like him like that, because you just don't freaking know. Like, how like you like somebody, but you don't really like them. I think you just like their pictures, their aesthetic and stuff like that. And I think that's what it is for me. I just like his aesthetic. I really don't like him as a person because I really don't like know him like that. Like I said, y'all, we're just, I talk to him and stuff like that, kind of like a brother kind of thing. But it ain't, go anywhere past that or whatever. Like, and he don't give me like gay vibes and stuff like that. I just be saying that type of stuff because I be scared. Like, you just never freaking know. Like, in the street game, in the drug game and things like that. Like, you know, people real like suspicious, and people will really sit around there and cross you and things like that. So, but furthermore, other than that, like, the strip club and everything is cool. Like, I like it. Like, it gives me a means of, you know, the lifestyle that I live, right? So, like I said, I live me a comfortable lifestyle, and come into my freaking life and everything, you're gonna have to understand and respect what I do, in my opinion, you know. But and I don't know if Sully for real can hang with that, and I don't know if he could like really handle that type of stuff. Because, like I said, he do got like four sisters and stuff like that. And like I said, y'all, I done went through that mother freaking phone. Because let me mother freaking tell you, he is mother freaking fine and everything like that. Because there was a girl up in there. Um, her name is, let me see. Like I said, we gotta make up these names, but the stories and stuff is true and factual. But her name is Tracy. Now, Tracy cool and everything like that, but you know, she taught me a few things about how to go about sneaking through your man's phone and everything like that. But I told her, I'm like, well, he not my man. He just real attractive and everything like that. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, whatever. So I just wanted to know, like, kind of like what I'm getting myself into way beforehand, and things like that before I sit around there and kind of like delete these other people out my phone or whatever the case may be, right? Because Sully real cool. He don't hang with nobody or whatever the case may be. Now I'm not trying to sit around there and pop the questions to know Sully, because I don't know Sully like that, right? So, she taught me how to go through the phone, what to look for and things like that, and how to know if he's sneaking around without using all of those techie apps, AI apps, and things like that. So I think the shit was type cool. So, Tracy real cool and everything like that. And, she really into the game and everything like that. But I think she into the tech world game and not really the stripping game, right? Because she be bringing home like at least on a good day under a stack. So I'd be like, okay, cool. Now, she also been there for about a good 3 months or whatever the case may be. So, we all have been around there, a little bit close to, um, the same time. So I'm like, okay, cool. So, Sully real cool, like he dressed real nice, real dappered up and everything like that. And but he ain't never asked me out on no date or nothing like that. But we just be chilling. you know, majority of the time and everything like that. And, and he ain't never told me his real mother freaking name. So, I just sat up there and made one up for him. And, and